Imagine standing at the entrance of a glossy fashion store, or scrolling through an endless online catalog, and knowing, instinctively, which pieces will look expensive and last, and which will fall apart after one season. That's the power we're giving you today. Spotting quality before you buy saves money, reduces waste, and builds a wardrobe that actually works. Flattering, durable, and unmistakably intentional. This isn't about snobbery or brands. It's about making smarter choices so your clothes serve you better and look better for longer. Quality is the difference between a garment that elevates your outfit and one that undermines it. A well-made coat retains its shape, keeps you warm, and still looks sharp years later. A poorly constructed coat sags, pills, and makes even a stylish outfit look sloppy. Same with shoes, denim, bags. Construction, materials, and attention to detail determine whether something reads expensive or cheap. Think of it as retail literacy. You'll learn a short list of visual and tactile cues to assess materials, seams, finishes, and proportions quickly. These cues translate whether you're in-store, feeling fabrics, checking linings and seams, or shopping online, zooming into product photos and scanning descriptions and reviews. That skill changes how you spend. Less impulse buying, more investment in pieces that actually perform. Practical examples make this concrete. First, a blazer. An expensive-looking blazer will have a structured shoulder that matches your frame, smooth lapels with clean stitching, and a lining that lies flat. Cheap blazers often have puckered seams, flimsy shoulder pads, and linings that bubble. Second, knitwear. A high-quality cashmere or wool jumper will have even knitting, reinforced cuffs, and density that resists piling. Cheap knitwear feels light, stretches out quickly, and pills after a few wears. There are pitfalls to watch for. Marketing terms can mislead. Italian-inspired or luxury blend don't guarantee substance. Online photos can hide poor fit or thin fabrics. And some visually appealing details, like excessive shine or oversized logos, can actually signal lower quality or trendiness that dates fast. Conversely, some well-made items are understated. They'll impress by touch and fit more than by flash. Mastering these signals connects to larger wardrobe goals. Building a capsule, curating signature pieces, and practicing sustainable consumption. By the end of this session, you'll feel confident walking into any store or scrolling any website and separating the genuinely well-made from the lookalikes, saving time, money, and regret. Understanding fabrics and materials that read expensive starts with knowing what quality feels and looks like. Tell the viewer that fabric is the first signal of value. Weight, drape, texture, and finish all convey craftsmanship and longevity. Define key terms simply: natural fibers like wool, silk, cotton, and linen, blends that improve performance, and synthetics like polyester and nylon. Explain that expensive-looking pieces often use higher-density natural fibers or refined synthetic blends that mimic natural hand and movement. Emphasize why this matters. A garment that moves smoothly, resists pilling, and settles without wrinkling convinces the eye and the body that it's worth more. Investing attention in fabric helps shoppers avoid trendy throwaways and choose pieces that maintain appearance over time. This relates directly to the main goal: spotting items that look and feel elevated even on a moderate budget. Give concrete, audible examples. First, describe wool. High-quality wool, like merino or worsted wool, feels dense but soft, has a clean drape, and doesn't shine. Hold the blazer sleeve. If it folds smoothly and springs back, that's a good sign. Second, explain silk and silk alternatives. Real silk has a subtle sheen and slides across the hand. Cheaper, silk-like fabrics often feel plasticky or overly glossy. Third, call out cotton. Long staple cotton like Pima or Egyptian gives a smoother surface and holds color better than short staple cotton. Fourth, point out structured synthetics. High-end blends use a small percent of elastic or polyester to improve fit and prevent wrinkles. They won't look cheap if the fabric is tightly woven. Offer situations. In-store, pinch and rub. If the fabric pills or stretches out quickly, move on. Online, zoom in. Look for tight weaves and subtle texture, not visible large loops or uneven yarns. Mention items. A coat with substantial weight and a matte finish. A blouse with fine, tightly woven fabric. Or trousers with minimal sheen and a crisp fall usually read expensive. Include expert opinion. Designers often pick weight and weave over flashy prints because the eye reads density as investment. Acknowledge challenges. Labels and price aren't reliable. Brands sometimes use marketing to mask low-quality fabric. Sustainable or performance fabrics can look cheap if poorly finished. Connect this to other skills. Combine fabric knowledge with attention to seams, linings, and hardware to make a final call. Fabric tells most of the story. The rest confirms it. When you want to separate pieces that look expensive from those that only pretend to, start with the construction. Construction is the invisible architecture of clothing and accessories. The seams, the lining, the hardware, and it tells you who made the item and how long it will last. First, look at seams. Quality garments have straight, even stitches with consistent spacing. Inside jackets, dresses, and trousers, seams should lie flat without puckering or loose threads. French seams or bound seams on delicate fabrics mean extra work and durability. Serged or raw edges are signs of cost cutting. Try a gentle tug at the seam line. A well-made seam holds without pulling fabric or exposing the inside finish. Real-world examples. A high street blazer with clean pick stitching along the lapel and reinforced seams will keep its shape for seasons. And designer denim will use chain-stitched inseams that resist unraveling. Next, check lining. A proper lining signals thoughtfulness in design. It helps garments hang correctly, prevents cling, and protects the outer fabric. Linings are often cut to match panel shapes and are hand-stitched into hems and sleeve heads. Cheap pieces either lack lining or use slippery polyester linings that bunch and separate at stress points. A good trench coat uses a breathable viscose or cupro lining that moves with you. A well-made dress might have a partial silk or rayon lining in the bodice for comfort. Run your hand inside sleeves and jackets. If the lining is neatly attached and follows the garment's contours, it's built to last. Hardware is the final tell. Zippers, buttons, snaps, and buckles should feel solid and operate smoothly. Metal zippers with branded pulls, reinforced zipper tape, and bar tacking at zipper ends outclass molded plastic teeth and flimsy sliders. Buttons sewn with shanks or through multiple threads sit securely. Glued-on buttons or cheap plastic snaps often pop off. Consider a leather bag. Real metal hardware with a plated finish, engraved logos, and socketed attachments lasts and looks luxe. Lightweight hollow metals or unplated alloys cheapen the piece. Some challenges. Pricey-looking construction can still hide poor fabric, and some mid-market brands use good hardware but cut corners elsewhere. Use construction clues together with fabric, fit, and finish to form a confident judgment. Construction links directly to longevity, resale value, and the overall impression of quality. Master it, and you'll consistently spot the pieces that look and feel expensive. Fit and silhouette are the secret language of clothing. How a garment sits on the body tells you immediately whether it was made with thought or thrown together to hit a price point. Define fit as the relationship between fabric and form. Does a jacket hug the shoulder without pulling? Does a dress skim the waist instead of ballooning at odd spots? Silhouette is the overall shape the piece creates, structured and clean, relaxed and draped, or shapeless and overwhelming. Together they signal tailoring quality. A well-tailored piece flatters posture, creates clean lines, and looks expensive, because it appears calibrated to the human body rather than designed to hide it. Why it matters. Expensive-looking clothes rarely shout with logos. They whisper through proportion and precision. Tailoring elevates fabric and design into something purposeful. High-quality items use patterning and construction to control where fabric falls, creating flattering seams, balanced hems, and the right amount of ease. This is what separates a polished coat from one that makes you look slumped, or a blouse that looks custom from one that looks like a pillowcase. Look for specific signs in-store or online. First, check shoulder seams. They should end at the natural shoulder bone, not droop past it or cut short. On jackets and coats, lapels should lie flat and not gape. Sleeves should have slight tailoring at the elbow to follow movement. Second, examine hems and waistlines. Skirts and trousers with darts, pleats, or subtle shaping around the hips offer a sculpted silhouette. Third, test the drape. Higher quality fabrics will fold and fall smoothly, suggesting internal structuring like interfacing or lining. Try items on and move. Sit, lift your arms, walk, to see if the garment maintains shape or pulls and wrinkles awkwardly. Real-world examples. A blazer from a mid-tier brand often looks expensive when the shoulder fit is correct and the waist is slightly nipped. Contrast that with an oversized fast fashion blazer that bulks and makes proportions look off. A pencil skirt with a back vent and shaped darts will read luxe, compared to a straight tube skirt that bunches when you sit. Experts often say you can fix almost anything with tailoring, but there are limits. Extremely poor fabric or incorrect proportions can't be fully rescued. Alternatives include shopping for inherently better cuts, A-line dresses, single-breasted coats, or mid-rise trousers, and budgeting for simple alterations. Connect this to other quality cues like fabric and construction. Even the best cut will falter in flimsy material, so look for fit and silhouette in concert with fabric weight and stitch quality to reliably spot the pieces that will look expensive.